Today, we're going to decode a playbook that has quietly shaped our modern world. It's a story of addiction, of immense profit, and really, of a dangerous blueprint that's been passed down from one of history's most notorious industries.
Now, I know that's a provocative question, but it's one we absolutely need to ask, because the device in your hand, the apps on your screen, well, they may be operating on principles perfected by an industry we thought we'd already figured out. You see, what's happening on our screens isn't some accident. It's a deliberate strategy. And the plans for it? They were drawn up a long, long time ago. This is the dangerous blueprint for building an empire of habit.
This global struggle with digital compulsion, it's not new. It's actually a ghost from our industrial past, a pattern that is now repeating itself with really startling precision. And that brings us right to the present day, the modern addiction crisis. The connection isn't just a theory anymore. It's actually becoming the basis for a historic legal battle.
Just recently, a wave of lawsuits began hitting Silicon Valley, accusing major tech companies of manufacturing this crisis. And the key piece of evidence, the thing connecting the past to the present, well, it comes from a surprisingly familiar story.
Juul is the perfect case study here. I mean, just watch how this played out. It all started with a slick, tech-like design. Then, they engineered the product itself, using these nicotine salts to create a faster, more potent, and more addictive hit. And the result? An explosion in use, especially among young people. And when it all came crashing down, Juul's tactics became the critical exhibit, the smoking gun, if you will, in the lawsuits against big tech.
So when you really break it down, the strategy that big tobacco used, and now the one big tech is being accused of using, it relies on three core tactics. This is the playbook.
First, you engineer the hook. You design the product itself to be as addictive as possible. Second, you target the youth. You market that product directly to your most susceptible demographic to create customers for life. And third, you deny the damage. When the consequences become obvious, you launch a sophisticated PR campaign to obscure the harm.
All right, let's start with the most fundamental tactic of them all, engineering the product. You see, the goal here isn't to create something useful, it's to create something compulsive.
And this is where you see this powerful parallel between chemistry and code. On one hand, you have big tobacco, chemically engineering nicotine to maximize addiction. On the other, big tech achieves the very same result with code, using things like infinite scroll and variable reward notifications. It's like a digital slot machine, all designed to keep you hooked.
So, once you have that addictive product, you don't just sell it to anyone. You find the user base that is most easily influenced, the one that has the most time to form a lifelong habit, the young.
The strategy evolves, but the target stays exactly the same. The Marlboro Man sold an image of rugged independence to hook a generation. Today, social media platforms sell social necessity. They use influencers, streaks, and likes to make young users feel like their social survival actually depends on being constantly engaged. And the final piece of the playbook, well, it's arguably the most cynical. When the public starts to notice the negative effects, you don't change the product, you change the conversation.
And here's how both industries managed to deflect blame. Big tobacco famously funded its own science to create doubt and confused regulators for decades. Big tech's version is a little more subtle. They promote ideas like digital wellness and personal responsibility, brilliantly shifting the focus away from their addictive design and onto the user's supposed lack of self-control.
But look, this system wasn't created by accident. It was meticulously built to benefit a very specific group of architects, those who profit directly from our attention. So, who are they?
An entire ecosystem profits from this model. You've got the corporations themselves, sure, but also the advertisers who pay for your eyeballs and the data brokers who sell your profile. There is enormous financial pressure to keep these systems exactly the way they are.
To really understand the scale of the power we're up against, just look at the number, $2 trillion. You know, that isn't just a market valuation, it's a political shield. That kind of money makes meaningful regulation almost impossible. All of this, it's leading to a moment of reckoning. We have seen this story before. We know how the tobacco chapter ended. The real question now is whether this new chapter is going to follow the same path. This quote really just perfectly captures the unintended, or perhaps the very intended, consequences of Silicon Valley's foundational philosophy. In the rush to innovate, they may have simply rebuilt one of the most destructive business models in history. And so, we're left with this question. The public eventually did turn on big tobacco. Accountability arrived, though decades late. Now, as the lawsuits mount and the evidence becomes clearer, we have to wonder, will history repeat itself one last time?